Hello, you're listening to History Happened Everywhere,
The Verdict.
This is our review show, an after-show podcast, where we look back at the previous episode, which was Cameroon, which was our Christmas special.
So if you haven't heard that, do go back and have a listen. If you're not going to do that, then just be prepared. There will be spoilers ahead. Oh, Paul, it's good to have you here, my friend.
It's good to be here again.
Are you covered in tinsel?
No, I'm not covered with tinsel, thank you very much.
Welcome to The Verdict. I'm Ryan Weir, and with me in the studio is my co-host, as usual, Mr. Peter Goddard.
I am here.
And on the phone with us, we've got Mr. Paul Dersley.
Hello, I didn't know that you had a studio in your flat.
Yeah, it's a proper studio. I had it built. I got architects and designers and builders, and we've got a whole new studio now.
Yeah, I mean, if you were thinking we were just on a kitchen table in the corner of his flat, then you are bang wrong, sir.
This is professional stuff.
At least something's professional.
Oh, come on. How you feeling though, Paul? You feeling Christmassy?
This year, no.
Yeah, Christmas has sort of been ruined for a lot of people, hasn't it? I know you'd normally be out caroling in the streets, knocking on doors.
I know, he's always out with his lantern, singing the old carols.
Taking the orphans round.
Yeah, with his shaking his little jug of money for the charity orphans.
Getting them to pick a pocket or two.
It's a sort of mix of Fagin.
No, I'm a pre-reformed Scrooge.
You're more of a Scrooge, are you?
A pre-reformed Scrooge. Before he went nice.
Oh, I see. Okay, all right, fair enough. So you're not giving coins out of the window to orphan kids and telling them to go run by you a goose, a spur-winged goose.
Where I live, there are no orphan kids. And a goose is probably considered quite common. I think they'd have a bird stuffed in a bird, stuffed in a bird, stuffed in a bird.
Turducken.
Is that
Turducken?
Turducken, is that the actual word for it?
That's a turkey and a duck in a gun.
Oh, I see. Oh, right, okay. I thought that was an actual term.
No, it's a thing. It's a real thing.
A turducken.
A turducken is a thing.
Okay. Have you ever had one, Paul?
No, I'm not a great lover of that sort of gamey bird meat. And actually, I'm not a great lover of turkey. When I'm usually with my parents for Christmas, we have beef.
I'm not a fan of stuffing an animal with another animal. Like, that sort of stuff makes me feel a little bit grotesque. Like, humans are just wrong at that point. Like, we've gone too far. Just because we can doesn't mean we should. Just, like, if you're going to kill an animal, I guess kill the animal and eat it. You don't have to stuff it inside the carcass of another animal. That's just...
Well, I don't agree. I agree with you. If you kill it, you eat it. But you've killed all of them, so you might as well eat all of them.
Not necessarily stuffed in each other.
What's with the artistry of stuffing them inside each other?
Oh, what's that French dish where they drown birds in brandy?
Real, live ones?
Yeah, that's a real thing.
What's it called?
Horrible?
It's a lovely word that they use. I can't remember. You'll have to do your internet thing for that.
Hello. This is the voice of the internet. The ortolan is a bird which is kept in covered cages until they gorge themselves on grain, before being thrown alive into a vat of armagnac to drown. After being roasted, the bird is then eaten whole, feet first. Traditionally, the consumer covers their head with a large napkin. Some say this retains the aroma, but others suggest it shields from God's eyes the shame of such a decadent and disgraceful act. More likely, the towel simply hides the spitting out of any bones. Thank you.
Okay, this is gross. Let's move on.
Yeah.
This is awful.
So, Dersley, I have a question. What is the name of that mint that's kind of black and white? It's a delicious mint with black and white stripes.
A mint with black and white stripes. Oh, I see.
I don't.
He is trying to get me to say the word humbug.
You have now said the word humbug, by the way, so I can edit that at will. So the plan worked.
Quite frankly, I don't mind. I do Christmas stuff for others, not for myself.
That's fair enough. So let's talk about Cameroon in 1500 to 1600 with a theme of Christmas. Because do you know what, Paul? It's Christmas.
It's Christmas. It was Christmas.
I'd never have guessed.
We're actually recording this on Christmas Eve, which makes this an extra special podcast. Don't you think, Paul?
Oh, 'twas the night before Christmas.
And all through the house.
That's a very American thing, isn't it? It's not something that we do over here, that.
That's that poem?
Yes.
Or creep round the house.
We all creep around the house, Ryan. That's just normal.
So, Paul, what do you think? Episode 16.
It was somewhat contrived.
Well, it was hugely contrived, I would say. I'd go beyond somewhat. But that was the nature of the problem, wasn't it?
I was just getting more and more amused all the way through it, listening to Ryan get more and more wound up about losing.
No, look, okay.
We need to address this, Ryan.
No,
we need to address this, Ryan. International Cracker. Let's ask Dersley some important questions regarding international cracker playing.
Okay.
What are the odds, Paul, of Ryan losing 11 cracker pulls on the trot?
2,048 to 1.
Wow, that was...
Well, that's not very difficult, is it? 2 to the 11.
2,481, did you say?
No, 2048.
2048. Okay. So if I was to pull a cracker 2,048 times... No, what? Wait, what are we saying?
Oh, this is going to be good.
Well,
carry on. Tell him. Explain, Paul.
Every time I pulled a cracker, 2,000 angels die? What?
No, every time you pulled a cracker, there's a 50% chance of you winning it. Well, not in that game, there wasn't.
No, there wasn't, because he cheated.
But, and so to 50% for the first one, then 50% and 50% for the second one, and 50% and 50% and 50% for the third one. And by the time you've gone up to 11, it's 1 over 2048.
Okay.
So
if you'd have put £1, if you were the bookmaker there, Paul, if Ryan had put £1 at the beginning on him losing 11 on the trot, you'd have given him 2,000 quid back.
Losing 11, yes. To lose 12, it will be 4096. But
he nailed the first one, though. He took the first one just to show how even it was, and then lost everything from there on in.
So I'm assuming that the way Ryan made these crackers, because clearly Ryan made them.
I did, yeah.
There was obviously some sort of tell on the cracker, which Pete found out that was the end.
I wish that were the case. That was not the case. The case was they were just straightforward crackers, and Pete cheated. And because there's no way he could win 11 in a row. It's just impossible.
It's not impossible. It's 2,048 to 1.
I want a rematch.
We'll make 12 more crackers and we'll see how it goes. I was as embarrassed as the audience, Ryan. How could you be so bad at cracker?
Well, that's the thing. Nobody can be that bad at cracker without somebody else cheating. Anyway, this is besides the point. We've gone astray. We've asked Paul about the technique.
To Cameroon.
No, but it was very, very funny hearing your
my misery
reaction every single time. It got worse and worse and worse.
He was proper annoyed at the end as well.
No, I really was, Paul. Honestly, we've had people ask me, were you just playing it up? No, I was really actually annoyed by the end. I wanted to at least make it a competition. I didn't think in any way, shape, way, or form that he would win 11 in a row. But anyway. Let's not drag up.
Very, very unusual. Very unusual.
It is very unusual.
Not impossible.
Not impossible, but very unusual. I think there's just a heavy cloud that you've cast over this Christmas period.
Yeah, well, no, it was a good contrivance, and actually you weaved it in well. Although I do have to admit, when you said you had 12 of them, I did think, oh my god. However. Like a good book on a train journey, it went very quickly.
Oh, that's good. Yeah. I did say at the beginning that I was going to have to be pacey about it because there was a lot to get through. Right. So, Paul, of the 12 gifts,
yes,
what would you be most happy to receive? Would you be happy to receive 4 calling birds, 3 French hens?
No, I think
I'd
be happy to receive 40 golden rings.
Why
Hang
40?
on, you just jacked up the golden rings number there in a big way.
Oh,
they give 40 gold rings.
12 times 5 gold rings.
He's done the maths.
8 times 5.
Okay, now I'm confused. Why 8 times 5?
Because you don't get to the 5.
Well, you get 5 on the 5th, 5 on the 6th, 5 on the 7th, 5 on the 8th, 5 on the 9th, 5 on the 10th, 5 on the 11th, 5 on the 12th. So to me, that's 8 times 5.
Oh, I see, because you don't get any on the 1st, the 2nd, the 3rd, and the 4th, because the 5th hasn't come around. Okay.
That is the best way around, because otherwise I can't imagine how many drummers drumming you'd have if you went from 12 down.
Well, that's the question, and I don't know the answer. How many individual people stroke animals stroke rings are mentioned in the song?
Well, arguably it depends, because your maid could have finished the milking and then jumped on the drums.
Or done some dancing.
There could be some multitasking going on,
Yeah.
you know. If I was putting on a gig, I would have had the maids. If I had some maids who could also drum,
And do
you
some
know, I've just
bakutsi
saved a
dancing.
lot on salary right there.
I liked your talking drums. They were very good.
Oh, they were amazing, weren't they?
Can you remember? Oh, this was in the early 70s. There was a children's TV program called Daktari,
No, I don't remember that.
and it started off with those talking drums, just like that. And I do have to admit, it sort of took me back.
Oh, that's great.
Little quiver there. Young Dersley.
Young Dersley. Yeah, the talking drums are incredible, and the way that they're played as well. I don't think I've ever seen an instrument that you pull back towards you in the way that the hooked drumstick is for the talking drum.
Oh, I never saw that. I didn't realise that.
I was amazed by the water drum, that they could make what was actually quite a distinctive drumming sound from just water. It was amazing.
Yes, but calling it a drum is it's just a surface of water.
Well, I think Pete was right during the episode where he says that it's drumming. It might not
Oh,
necessarily
drumming,
be
yes.
a drum. Yeah, because I didn't include it for that very reason, because I didn't think that it qualified as a drum. But it does say drummers drumming in the gift. So I
Doesn't
guess
say what they're drumming.
But not necessarily
Right,
on
exactly.
drums. The drummers' lawyers have come on and gone, I think you'll find you engaged us to drum, not to drum on drums.
Yeah. All right. So of those 5 calling birds, I don't know if you remember them. The 5 calling birds. So the 5
blackbirds.
blackbirds.
Oh,
that
yes.
we had to pick.
Yes.
So we had the heron, we had the cuckoo, we had the north flycatcher,
Yes.
sawwing,
Sawwing, sorry. And then the scimitar bill.
and the scimitar bill. Yeah. Do you remember those?
The last one, the scimitar bill, can be binned.
Get rid of the scimitar bill.
You seem pretty clear on that.
I agree. That was the one with the fun fact that it used to be a migratory bird and now isn't.
I think that speaks quite well of the bird. It's like, do you know what? I don't actually need to keep going 5,000 miles a year.
You and
I
your
could just
sneaky
stay
birds.
here. I love a sneaky bird. What can I say? I have a weakness.
Yes. And what does Elaine think about that?
She is... this is dangerous territory. She's not a sneaky person.
Why are you nodding? Why? Oh, do you mean she is?
You're a terrible person, Ryan, with bad demeanour and habits and awfulness.
Yeah.
I must admit, every time you said you like a sneaky bird, I was switching to carry on mode.
Don't drink.
No, I tried it once and didn't like it.
Oh. Have a smoke?
I tried it once and didn't like it.
Strange.
Not at all, my daughter is just the same.
Your only child, I presume.
Did you shout at the radio at any time?
I groaned at the radio, as I said earlier, when I thought it was going to go on forever.
Oh, really? Yeah. So the runtime. Okay, so let's talk about that. So it was our bumper Christmas special. There was a lot to get through. And I felt like it was just a double episode. We could have done it in a 2-parter. But you know,
no, it wouldn't have worked as a two-parter. And as I said, when you got into it, it actually flew by. The time actually flew by.
Peter, during the episode, he tried some kati, which is a very spicy kind of chicken and sauce dish.
Super tasty.
Yes, I was wondering how did you cook the chicken breast with the feathers on?
Yeah, I didn't do it in a traditional manner, I'll be honest, because as I said, I didn't also use hard chicken as well. I only had access to sort of organic soft chicken, i.e. from chickens that are still laying eggs.
Well, they couldn't be laying eggs if they're dead.
That's true. They had stopped laying eggs by the time you bought them.
This is true.
Actually, consider myself lucky you didn't pop a few feathers from the pillow in there for reality purposes.
It sounds very nice. I wasn't so sure about the plantain goo.
Yeah, genuinely, the chicken was really tasty. I have to say, I had it for dinner the next day as well, just to prove that I wasn't just doing that celebrity chef. Oh, this is so nice.
Yeah.
Oh, I'll get this away. I need a burger.
But you really didn't like the fufu, did you?
I did not like the fufu.
I don't get the fufu hate. It's kind of a nothing food, but it's got a chewy sort of dumpling texture.
And I don't like dumplings, and I don't like chewy. I don't like mochi. I don't like any of those kind of chewy
Steam buns?
No, don't really like steam buns.
Bao baos? The same thing, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a steam bun. So yeah, I'm not. I wouldn't deny anyone else the pleasure of it. It's just not for me.
Yeah.
I think you did miss a trick, though. You should have prepared some milk, which you put a little bit of red dye in or something, and whipped it out at the appropriate point and said, "Here is some pigeon milk."
Pigeon milk. Do you know what? When he was saying that, I cursed myself. When he was like, "And you've got some here, haven't you?" And I was like, "Oh, I really wish I'd brought some cream or something for him to try." And be like, "Yep, I freshly milked this pigeon."
Actually, some porridge in it would have been.
If you don't like texture now,
Oh, mate, no. I would have been... I'm not munching on pigeon crop milk. That's not... I'll give you fufu a go, but that's about it. Yeah.
Yeah, it's interesting, isn't it? Pigeon milk. It's not milk, and it doesn't come from a pigeon.
let's talk about the Fonz.
Yes. I didn't really get all the references to Fonz, but
Well, the Fonz is a character from Happy Days, which was a sitcom set in the 50s, but actually filmed in the 70s, late 70s.
yes, I know. I wasn't allowed to watch it because it was on ITV.
Oh, was it? Okay. I remember it from being on Channel 4. That's besides the point.
It's not, because now I want to investigate that, because I remember when Channel 4 was invented.
Yes. So the Fonz was a character. He was very cool. He was a biker, wore a leather jacket, white t-shirt and jeans, and threw his thumbs up and sort of said, "Hey." But as I recall, he was like a 50-year-old man hanging out with teenagers.
Yeah, it was really weird. The more you thought about it as you got older, the weirder it became.
I'm glad I didn't see it then.
Anyway, his name was the Fonz, Arthur Fonzarelli. And so the fact that the Fon, the king or chieftain of the different kingdoms, fondoms in Cameroon, was called the Fonz. Combination of those was the Fonz. And Pete found that very, very, very funny.
That's not fair. I still find it very, very funny.
Yeah, anyway, so if you were a Fon, the Fon of wherever you live, which I believe is Chiswick, specifically insert Paul's address here.
Also,
Yeah,
what is your mother's maiden name and favourite 4-digit
That's-
number?
Yes, that's close enough.
Yeah. Okay, so what kind of laws are you going to institute?
Oh, well, I would ban Christmas from being mentioned until at least the 10th of December.
I'm with you on that. I think that's good. Also, I'd ban Christmas for a year every 10 years because then people would really look forward. To Christmas.
Well,
following year.
that is interesting, isn't it? Because there's something in that. Because in the Victorian times, if Christmas Day was on a Sunday,
Yeah.
they didn't do all the fun Christmas things. They just did the tedious Sunday things because Sunday trumped Christmas. So every so often, they didn't have they didn't have presents, and they didn't do that because it was on a Sunday.
Well, they just do it later, or they just wouldn't do it for that year?
No, they wouldn't do it for that year.
Wow, okay, so Christmas just wasn't a thing for a year.
Well,
and then they'd
it
come back
was
to
Christmas, but it was purely the religious side of it.
No way, I had no idea.
Yeah, that was when I was in America. That was the thing I'd struggled with. They do Christmas in a big way, and then it's Christmas Day, and then the next day you go to work.
It's just done.
There's no slide down after it. It's just straight back into work.
Wow, okay.
And isn't there a tradition of going out to the cinema on Christmas Day afternoon?
I didn't
Which is
experience
slightly
that.
different to going down the pub at lunchtime.
Yeah.
Yeah, they have a shortage of pubs.
I love the thing when you were talking about mondegreens.
Oh, do you like a mondegreen?
I do like a mondegreen. Do you know how it got its name?
No, please tell me. Tell us about Mondegreens.
Well, it was a line in a song, and the line was, "and laid him on the green." And the singer was saying, well, who is Lady Mondegreen? And that's how it was called, a mondegreen.
So a Mondegreen was born of a Mondegreen.
Well, no, it was a name given. You know, it's like a Spoonerism. You know, it was named after the first instance of it. And I was trying to think, because there are quite a few of them, aren't there?
There are.
Papadon Peach, I always remember that one.
Poppadom Peach.
Wasn't that a Madonna song?
We know you love Madonna.
Yeah, he's a keen Madonna fan. We all know that.
Okay, here's one for you. All right, Pete, you got to tell me where you think this one's from.
Okay.
You're simply the best, better than an hour's rest.
I think that's an improvement. The thing about a lot of Mondegreens is the Mondegreen is often better than the original, because an hour's rest sounds amazing.
It does sound really good.
To be better than an hour's rest is a real challenge. Whereas better than all the rest is like, well, yeah, the rest aren't all that much anyway.
Okay, what about this one? The ants are my friends. They're blowing in the wind. The ants are my friends.
I love
They're
that.
blowing in the wind.
Because now I've got this vision of a guy who's like watching his ant friends being wafted about by the breeze and like panicking that they're all getting blown around when they should be getting underground into their ant home.
Yeah, the ants are my friends.
Well, I think that's a whole episode in itself. Do you have Mondegreen as a category?
Chuck it in. Well, this is the Dersley. You are the master of the Dersley.
You can add it in.
Oh, speaking of, we're now approaching 2021. We do need to add another year to the Derslater.
Of course, yes.
Only you understand the mysterious workings.
Okie dokie, I'll have a look at that.
I mean, I wouldn't know if I was turning the right bolt or tightening the correct screw.
Yes, it is. There's quite a lot going on in that inside that little grey box.
Right, I'm worried that I'd put too much coal in or the steam pressure would be too much.
Tighten a cog.
Right, suddenly
Loosen a piston.
I hope you like the fruit machine handle I put on it.
That was absolutely superb. It's
That's my favourite
ergonomic
bit.
and fun.
Yeah, fits my hand perfectly. We built this city. We built this city on sausage rolls.
No one thought that, surely.
I agree
This is
with that.
pushing it,
Nobody
mate.
did.
No. Go back to, you were on safer ground before.
I want to hold your ham.
You were really doing well there, Ryan.
Gimme, gimme, gimme your man after midnight. Take me to the doctors at the break of the day.
Every time you do another one, your grade goes down by a point.
Okay, I'm going to stop then.
I just want to think, I don't know whether I can squeeze this in because as the subject is Christmas, I forgot to mention last time about Christmas Island that you were discussing in Kiribati. So there's some interesting facts about Christmas Island because I think it's probably one of the most nuked places on Earth. What happened was they were the first range of tests. They did them at an atoll a couple of 100 miles away, and they didn't really work. They were big explosions, but we were trying to detonate a hydrogen bomb.
And by we, you mean the British?
Yes. And it never really worked. And then what happened is they decided to rerun the tests. But the nuclear test ban treaty was coming in so quickly that they couldn't go back out to the atoll to do it. I think it was called Henderson Island. I'm not sure about that. And so in the end, they had their base was actually on Christmas Island. So they just say, oh, let's just do it over there, which is why they did tests there. And I think Britain detonated about 10 hydrogen bombs off Christmas Island, and America detonated another 20. So that poor little island was nuked about 30 times.
How is there anything left? How is it not just like a massive crater in the earth?
But also, I'm worried about the mindset that goes, we can't make it 100 miles away, so let's just blow this island up instead. That slipshod kind of planning is shocking.
It is.
Well, they had to do it because they wouldn't have been allowed to do it after the test ban treaty came in. And basically, the whole thing was Britain could prove that it could build a hydrogen bomb, which basically meant that America would then tell us its secrets about the bombs, which we gave to them in the first place. But that's a different story.
Yeah, I guess so. Do we know why it's called Christmas Island?
Usually islands called Christmas Island and Easter Island are called that because it was the day that they were first sighted by the people who found them. I don't know, but certainly the other Christmas Island was, and Easter Island was.
Yeah, but what a gift did we give them? Hey, check it out. Cancer.
Well, a lot of, as you said, a lot of British soldiers were stationed on there, and it was, backs to the bomb, and then after it went off, they were just ordered to turn around and watch it. And there are sort of some interesting films of them all sort of sitting there in their summer uniforms, cross-legged, watching the bomb go off. And one of them was actually quite big. Biggest, I think it was Operation Grapple Y, was the biggest British detonation of something like about 3.8 megatons, which is big.
So here's a question for you. How come when Chernobyl goes off, Chernobyl is evacuated and nobody can live there for hundreds of years or however long it is, and yet presumably there are still people living or working on Christmas Island and these atolls where these explosions went off?
Yes, but the fallout would dissipate very quickly because they're all done as airbursts.
So bear in mind, in Chernobyl, the source was still there, wasn't it?
Yeah, the source was there. It was, the radiation was around on the roof outside the building, and it was sort of just sitting there emanating particles.
Okay, whereas when the bomb goes off,
yeah, and also with a hydrogen bomb, most of the energy would be gamma and X-rays, which are very prompt and short.
But am I right in thinking, Paul, that in a nuclear bomb, the nuclear material itself is like, I don't know, about the size of a pencil, but in a nuclear power station, you've got like rods like pillars, and that's the difference. Like the bomb is a very small amount of material to create a big bang.
You don't have the critical mass, because generally those long fins that you see, there's uranium in there, but also a matrix of other materials as well to sort of keep the uranium apart. But one of the things that Chernobyl was so bad was the radiation was beta and alpha radiation, which is much, much worse for humans and effectively lingers longer than these fast gamma rays from a thermonuclear explosion.
So when the British gave blankets and goggles to some of the inhabitants of those islands,
Nearly all of them.
Nearly all of them. That wasn't so bad.
I don't think it was one of our best,
Our proudest moments.
one of our best days or proudest moments. Yes, we needed to prove that we could do it, but a lot of it was, as I said, they had to move it because of the test bans. But yes, it wasn't one of our finest moments.
No, probably not. No.
One might argue that the test ban coming in implied that testing was a bad thing, and one's ideal reaction shouldn't be to squeeze in as many tests as you can before the ban came into place.
Yeah.
Yes, well, the same thing happened with France as well, because they did this. They did a similar thing when they detonated their H-bomb in the 60s.
But I mean, we see the same thing today. Someone says, "Oh, I'm going to bring in new COVID regulations to prevent people
Yes.
getting together on Thursday." So on Wednesday, everyone goes, "Let's all get together." It's like, well, the risk that you're addressing here hasn't gone away. The day is arbitrary. Getting together is a bad thing. This is not the law. Is not the problem here. That you're doing a bad thing. It just happens to be legal.
Yes, exactly.
We're caught in a trout.
Ba-bum, ba-bum, ba.
I can't get out.
Are you still mondegreening?
Yeah.
Oh God.
Oh, I'm trying to bring it back to this episode.
Yes, back to Cameroon.
We did stray, and that was fascinating, but we're back to Cameroon Christmas.
Now, I want to know, Paul.
Give me a grade. Give me a grade. Give me my grade.
No, I want to go. I don't want to do the grade yet. I want to know just overall. Did you learn anything? Are you a Cameroon fan? Was it all new to you?
It was virtually all new to me. Yes, I didn't know much about Cameroon, apart from what I said earlier. At least I did know where it was, unlike some people.
Or both of us, yes.
I think I know where most countries are, but the sort of the ethnography and the contrite of doing the song actually made you look at really unusual areas of the country, which I thought was very good.
Mm-hmm. Chickens and milking.
Yeah,
and
although
hares.
it was
Yeah.
by picking that song, it was rather bird heavy.
Yes, but I did nullify the swan.
By talking about a theatre in London.
Yes, well, exactly. So that's one less bird.
It was. I mean, in fairness, even Ryan was like, and halfway through, I realised how many birds were involved in this extravagant Christmas
And don't
present.
forget, Ryan, it's fewer, not less.
Yes, you're quite right. I apologise. There's fewer. So okay, so let's get down to brass tacks.
Let's do it.
Tell me.
It's Christmas.
With great regret,
Uh-oh.
I have to give it an A-.
Ooh,
Hey! Christmas gift from Paul
Nice.
Dersley. Thank you very much. Yay!
So you've both had A-.
Oh,
It can
excellent.
only go downhill from here.
New Year will be D's all the way.
One of you's got to fall off the wagon next time.
It's going to be him. It's going to be me. Yeah, it's going to be him. Well, the next one we've just recorded is Austria. So we shall resume your reviews this time next week.
Okay, what year was the Austria one?
1400 to 1500. Art and culture. You're a man of culture.
The century before our Cameroon one.
Did Austria exist then?
In a way.
Well, we'll find out, won't you?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
I
sorry,
think it
no
was an
spoilers.
I think it was an archduchy then.
Well, we'll find out, and you can shout heartily at the radio to your heart's content next week. But Paul, thank you very much for your wonderful grade. That has made my Christmas. I didn't think I was ever going to get an A. And I'll tell you, I'm slightly disappointed that I have this time. Because it means I've got to live up to that now.
Now is only failure to
It's
come.
only failure from here on out.
Oh, that is such... Oh, I don't know. That's such a stupid attitude.
Yes,
That's what
yes,
we're
it
looking
is.
for. There he is. Paul, look, from myself and from me, I just want to wish you a very, very happy Christmas.
Whereas I would like to wish you a Merry Christmas, which is an entirely different kind of Christmas.
And in the words of the song, may all your Christmases be shite.
Now that's the Mondegreen of all Mondegreens. So thank you very much for listening, everybody. This has been History Happened Everywhere.
The verdict.
Thanks for listening to History Happened Everywhere. I'm Ryan and he's Pete. And if you want to get in touch with either of us, you can do that through hhepodcast@gmail.com.
Or you can use HHE Podcast in any of the usual social media.
That's right. And, if you did enjoy the show and you enjoy it, let's help spread the word, get more people coming, and you can do that by rating and reviewing at your podcast provider.
We'd love to hear what you think, as long as it's nice.
Yeah, please be nice.
Be nice.
We're
Be
very
kind.
sensitive.
God, we're going to have a New Year's Eve party. Well,
Yeah.
don't make it too late because I go to bed early on New Year's Eve.
No, it won't be too late, don't worry.
I can't stand New Year's Eve, as you could probably guess. Humbug.